we're back on another exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we casual and a casual and informal conversation.
Start again.
A casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. There goes Chekhov again. No pressure is here, and so is Cake is Eternal, and so is Blue. Hey guys, Ruben was supposed to be here, but the last time I saw him, he was on the Defiant. Did he beam back? Did you guys see him anywhere?
I don't know if he made it.
No, we haven't got him back yet. No, we haven't got him back.
Let me, Robbie, can you please tune the sensors to the frequency of interphasic space for us, please? Here, all right,
well, I'm
here we
stuck
go.
on here.
Oh, what's this? Here we go. You guys, it's Ruben. We have to save him.
I cannot believe my eyes. I think I've had too much Theragun.
Welcome. Yay. Ruben,
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it would get through the interstitial space or not.
We have two heroes in our chat today. We have Jill with her cool name. There goes Chekhov again, and we have Ruben with the spacesuit from this episode, which is pretty awesome.
This is one of my favorite episodes because they actually use spacesuits for once. It's like, Jesus, you guys beam everywhere with no protection. You're insane.
They're that confident in their technology, Ruben. Ruben, you don't have to wear it the whole time, by the way. It's
That's fine.
Trying to drink water.
Oh boy.
That reminds me of Spaceballs when I forget the Rick Moranis Darth Vader helmet character tries. He drinks the coffee and he has the little drain. Yeah.
That's such a great movie. I think Robbie, we still have to watch Spaceballs, right? Like that was on our list of watch-alongs together.
No, it's so dumb, but it's hilarious. Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk today about. Wow, I'm like all over the place. Today about the Tholian Web, a spectacular episode of Star Trek: The Original Series. Who wants to give a quick summary about this episode?
Actually, before you do that, be getting Triax's compound quick. He's taking his helmet off. Get Triax's compound.
Yeah, we might have to go watch his video, Will.
That's another hot one.
Yeah.
It's a really good one, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got a cable
Really
and everything. I had a lot of Sharpies in my house.
Is that saran wrap on the front, like a cling wrap or something?
Well, I bought a floor mat for my computer chair. And you know how it comes rolled up with like this cellophane thing.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, perfect.
So I'll just put a plastic bag on my head. No problem with that.
Ruben, you need to connect with the Thrifty Trekkie on Twitter if you haven't already, because they do cosplays on a budget and they do a pretty good job. And I think you guys are kind of in the same club there. I mean, you're a little more lo-fi than she is, but
I'm whatever I find in my house.
What's that?
I'm actually going to be just a couple of doors down from her on the cruise.
Oh, right on. Excellent.
Yeah.
We've had Kellen on this show. It was really an honor. We got to get him back on, so it'll be really cool.
Yeah.
So no one on the summary. Am I giving the summary? Is that it? Yeah. All right, fine. The Enterprise is on its way to find out what's up with the Defiant.
Hey, see if you can do it in 5 sentences.
Ooh, okay. All right, here we go. Well, what about run-on sentences? Okay. The Enterprise is investigating the Defiant, the disappearance of the USS Defiant. They discover that it's traveling back and forth between 2 dimensions. Captain Kirk gets lost gets trapped in this dimension. The Tholians show up and pull their Tholian Web. Everything's fine in the end because of the anecdote, which is Tang and alcohol.
Tang.
That was a lot of pressure. That was a lot of pressure.
There we go. We did it.
Pretty well done.
What'd you all think? Start with you, Fathery.
Actually, I didn't have time to rewatch this one, but it's one that I really loved this one as a kid. I loved the spacesuits. I actually had a toy of Kirk in the environmental suit that's still in the box. I have it like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's in the corner of this room. I should have grabbed it.
Maybe
I can get it later. But I always thought the Tholians were cool. I always wanted to see more of them. because you don't like the comics and other like visual mediums have tried to like recreate the Tholians. There's the USS Defiant, 1764. When Deep Space Nine came along and we had the Defiant on that show, it made me think this was even cooler because here's like the first Defiant, and I think that just like the visual effect of like the web was kind of neat. Actually, Emmy Award winning, right? Like
Yep.
So was it or nominated? I don't know.
No,
If it won.
it won. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
they did, Mike Miner did the effects, but he didn't win personally. The show won for whatever special effects.
Got it.
But yeah.
So yeah, all that stuff was really cool. I got like a little bit older, and I kind of went through a stage where this is still having like some of those like season 3 issues that I have a hard time getting over. But then like in more recent years after that, I went back to my childhood outlook. Kind of like, no, like this is kind of neat, and you get like the cool Kirk having to leave that message to Spock and McCoy, and I think that little segment there is so well written, and just the dialogue there, and how Kirk describes to them, like the importance that they like. Spock is the captain. Bones, you need to listen to him, but Spock, if he's helping you out, you need to accept his help, and together y'all are going to do great. Y'all are going to be just fine. And
it's fun.
That's
it's
so
funny
cool.
that the message was so timely because they were having an argument just right before, and it's cool that it like settled that argument.
But I feel like this is a script that Gene Coons would have approved of. He would have read that scene and be like, "That's perfect. That's exactly what this show needs to have at its core."
Right on. Nice. Very cool. What'd you think, Sub Commander? Who, by the way, thanks for joining us in Decloaking. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a little while. I've been deep in Romulan space. I've always liked this episode. I exchanged before this. Our dads both liked this episode.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's kind of hard for me to figure out exactly why. I mean, it's a pretty popular episode, especially for the 3rd season. I mean, some of the kind of beats in it they've hit before in other shows. The McCoy arguing with Spock, and Kirk in danger somewhere else. But it's done really well in this one, and I like the kind of it's a fairly grim mood throughout it. I always like it when a Star Trek episode has kind of a grim mood.
Even the music, I think we've heard it before, but it's that weird, like that cool, like it's a grim kind of soundtrack too when they're on the Defiant, especially. It has a lot of cool,
I can't remember what it was.
Creepy vibes.
Maybe it's original music. I can't remember, but
might be.
I like it. I mean, the web is so it's just such an interesting effect, especially in its day, and it's still kind of. It's just different. The aliens are very different and distinct, and that I think leads people to really enjoy it. Even though, if you think about it, they're just building the slowest tractor beam in history. It's like, really, it took you how many hours to finally enclose this thing? But the character moments, as Father pointed out, between Spock and McCoy are really good, and it's kind of interesting to have Kirk sort of out of the action for. I mean, this is probably the episode where he has the fewest lines, I would guess. I kind of wonder what Shatner thought about that, whether he's happy for a break or whether he's annoyed that he didn't get to speak more. But I like the spacesuits. It's always fun to see a different Federation ship. And
they filmed a lot more of him, doing this, and it got cut, and he was very upset. No, I'm just kidding. That's totally
And we see Uhura's quarters for the 3rd time, I think, or at least the 2nd time, if you count Land of Troy. So we never see Sulu's or Chekhov's, but yeah, she's great wardrobe. But.
And her downtime hair is super. She looks like she's gonna go to the opera, but I love it. It's like very cool. What'd you think, Ian? Oh, you're on mute. You're on the mute.
It's one of these ones that's endured for me. I mean, like Father, I loved it as a kid. It was one of those ones. And the older you get, it's the conflict. Whether when McCoy and Spock, for good friends, they really do go at each other hammer and tong sometimes. Where the Spock says, I am the captain, and McCoy goes, I would like to remedy that. Those things, it's those type of bits. But Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
Well, also Spock being like, you shouldn't be at the Captain Kirk memorial service.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
should be in sick bay.
You should be working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like,
type
wow,
thing.
okay, Spock,
Yeah,
it's a little too
yeah.
far there. It's like, come on.
It's
But yeah,
nice that it's as you know, as already been said. It's nice that it's not a Kirk centric one.
yeah,
You know, Kirk he's an ancillary. Yes, they want to get him back. He's an ancillary character in this one, and it's more for Uhura, Chekhov, Scotty. You know, okay, you know, Spock and McCoy are you know front and center, but you get a little bit more with the B team, as somebody has put on Twitter. Yeah.
I didn't mean that so insultingly, but I think I maybe should have retitled that. But anyhow, yeah, it was good to see them in action.
It's generally I think it. The timing of it is quite good as well. You know, it goes quite quickly. The pacing, it goes through, and it's, you know, before you know it, the episode's finished. You're not thinking, okay, it's dragging a bit. For me, it was evenly paced all the way through, with all the stories, and I quite like that. And yeah, I think it's a good story. As you know, it's one of the better ones for season 3. That's for certain.
excellent.
Yeah, there's nothing like cringeworthy about it. Sorry, I mean, you know, like so many season 3 ones may have good ideas here and there, but there's always some part that you kind of it's a little embarrassing. But it's just it's so straight, it's so serious. I mean, well, not 100%. I mean, especially the end. But you know, we've heard McCoy and Spock banter a lot, but this time they're just really the mood is a lot more grim. But sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. Thank you, Robbie. What's up? What's up with you? What are your thoughts?
I saw someone on Twitter say, "Is this the last great episode of TOS?"
Oh yeah, shout out to Paul
And I was thinking,
Anderson, different Paul than the one we usually have.
I was thinking this is a pretty solid episode. If it was in season 1, it wouldn't be great for me. It would be maybe a 7 or an 8. But I think for season 3, it's pretty great. Although I still think I prefer Is There in Truth No Beauty. I really like that one. But yeah, this was good fun, and all of the McCoy Spock moments were gold, to be honest. And it was just making me think, it's such a shame that we can't have any more of these versions of McCoy and Spock, because TOS is finished. But I wish we'd seen a lot more of.
It's not finished. Don't say it. They can still get Walter Koenig to be in that reboot. Come on, he's available for Chekhov.
I agree, and then also with this like fancy schmancy technology that they're using, there could be like little.
No, we don't do the deep
that
fake
in Star.
CGI
We don't do that in
faces.
Star Trek.
They'll eventually have an AI that can just create new episodes of Trek based on, you know, like the holodeck does with when they create a new Sherlock Holmes adventure for Data.
The first Star Trek
we're
holo
likely to
novel
get-
is going to be awesome.
We're likely to get more Zachary Quinto and
Yeah.
Carl Urban
coming
Spock and
soon.
McCoy.
Yeah. And they do a great job at channeling that Spock McCoy energy into
They're
their performances.
two of the best out of that
yeah.
cast as
Yeah,
far
I
as
have to
feeling like
agree.
the originals.
Ruben, what are your thoughts on this episode?
I don't know. I was watching it today. I realized this is one of the episodes I've always loved ever since I was a kid. It used to freak me out as a kid watching Kirk like trapped in the other space, and watching it now, I pretty much agree with everybody. It's, you know, yeah, could I pick apart certain things and it kind of doesn't go anywhere and just ends in the happiness and whatever? Sure, but it does a really good job of keeping the pacing going while adding layers of threat. You know, because first it's Kirk's gone, then it's,
escalation. There's
the
like
escalation.
an escalation.
you know, then the Tholians are like, get the hell out of here. Then they start building the web. Then can we get Kirk out of here in time? Like it keeps going. So that kept me, you know, I really like it. I really think it's a really good episode of Trek. And yeah, I love to see spacesuits because it always driven me crazy that they don't wear spacesuits more often on a more regular basis.
These
Especially when you make them
spacesuits,
for one episode, you might as well just use them again. Like, why not? You already made them.
these spacesuits last appeared in what, season 1 or
No, they never. They had the orange shower curtain ones in
Right.
Naked Time, but you do see this spacesuit again in the one with Garth, whom Gods destroy, just as they drag the not Vina, whatever the green Orion girl is onto the
Batgirl.
planet. Yeah, Yvonne Craig. I can't remember her character.
Yeah.
Wait, you're saying this is the first time we're seeing these spacesuits? I feel
Yeah.
like we've seen them before.
No,
but-
no, no.
okay.
This is the first.
No, they were notorious in this episode because the actors had to
Oh.
get sewn in them and sewn out, even like to use the bathroom. And it put the schedule behind, and they fired the director, Ralph Sinensky, who was a great director. I mean, he did. Yeah, we've talked about him, and they brought in some guy who's the assistant director. I think I read this morning on the Three Stooges meet Hercules, so that was like his bona fides. But the suits were like, I love the suits too, but they were like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, they look awfully designed, but but I just love the fact that they were using spacesuits. Because I don't think in TNG they ever used spacesuits, right?
Class M, Ruben. You always go to
No,
Class M.
They didn't do
they use-
spacesuits again until Star Trek First Contact.
Right.
The animated series had the force field belts.
Well,
Yeah.
Spock
Yeah.
in Star Trek 1 they use spacesuits because Spock
Picture,
wears
yeah.
that.
That's, oh yeah. And then they have
Spock-
those again in
yeah.
Wrath of Khan.
Right.
When they beam down to
What about
To meet
Enterprise
Khan.
use spacesuits, of course, all the time, but I guess that's after First Contact, right?
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
Enterprise had their environmental suit in season 1.
I do like that the First Contact spacesuit is in keeping with the tall helmet design with the large glass, thing. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So we could look up.
You mean the one they had to put an air hole in because they made it and they couldn't breathe in them?
The spacesuits in this are also interesting because they have like what looks, visually to me looks like the arteries and the veins. Like it has a red thing and then a blue
And the
one,
blue.
which kind of represents that and might even be providing some kind of function akin to that. And then there's that other one on the arm, and there's some other tubes and
Oh,
stuff.
it's
But
hot,
yeah, it's a
they look
it's hot
busy.
and cold water for the coffee maker inside the suit.
They're still suits.
If you think of what like a real life spacesuit looked like in the 60s, like during like the
Yeah.
Apollo program, like those
yeah.
things are like bulky and kind of complicated looking, and so this was kind of
like a
the
sleek,
what now we call like retro futurism version
Yeah,
of that. But I guess in the
exactly.
60s it just would have been called futurism.
futurism. Yeah, it's true.
I love the high helmet. It would have been so cool if they'd like given them all new hairstyles that were like big pompadours, only revealed when you finally take off the helmet. It's like, oh, okay, like Scotty's hair earlier in this
That's for
season.
lower deck.
Well, I agree with all of you guys about this episode. It's fantastic, and I was telling Sub Commander Tall that it's one of my father's favorites, and he actually watched it with me this morning, which is fun because he doesn't have time for this kind of thing anymore. So, so that was cool, and he was really enjoying it. And I got emotionally compromised watching this episode. I couldn't hold back the tears when Captain Kirk's tape came on and he was giving that like awesome speech and like talking about Bones and Spock, and then again when Uhura sees him, I'm like freaking out in the mirror, and I thought that was a cool thing too because later we find out that the Defiant does go into the mirror universe. So I thought like it's neat to the idea that Kirk might have also been there for like a minute or or whatever part of him was.
Well, he was
phasing
there
in
for a
and
whole
out.
episode.
Whole
in
episode,
Mirror.
yeah, he was. It's true,
So
but-
was Uhura.
Yeah, it's true, but they don't know, of course, where it is because it could be any multitude of dimensions, right? But we find out later through Enterprise that it is the mirror universe where the Defiant ends up going. But yeah, I just like that like image of him in the mirror. That was cool. And then also Uhura, like the other part that got me in this episode was when Uhura like her relief at first of all not being crazy, and then that the captain's life, and then that little comedic moment at the end. Just a lot of great like emotional tugs, and I didn't realize it, but I used to play Tholian Web. One of my favorite things to do, we used to play Star Trek when we were kids with Ruben. I remember I always loved bringing the Tholians in and trapping our ship, and like they were always like a really fun
The Tholian looks
adversary,
really
yeah.
cool in this remastered thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
You get a
also
little bit of movement out of it, and then in Enterprise they show us
what a Tholian
It's like a
actually
big
looks like.
crystal. It's like a big crystal spider thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And then I think that's the only time, right? Those are the only two instances that we see Tholians.
There's this funny joke in Deep Space Nine because the Tholians became a thing they would mention a lot, but they would never show them because I think no one knew how do you recreate that image from the original series. There's this funny moment in Deep Space Nine where Odo accuses Nog of did you break into the Tholian ambassador's quarters and try to steal something out of there? And Nog is like, no, I didn't even do it. He's like, I don't even know what a Tholian looks like.
That's pretty funny.
But
yeah.
I would be thrilled if in the upcoming show Strange New Worlds they did a Tholian episode.
Oh my gosh,
because I've always thought they
awesome.
needed to revisit them.
That you have the Tholians in the Vanguard that are mentioned quite a bit in the Vanguard book, a series of books. They're quite the main one of the main protagonists in that series of books. You have the Klingons as well in this, and some of the Romulans, but the Tholians are mentioned quite a bit in the Vanguard books. So if you want a chance, as I said, for me, they're the best TOS books, series of books there are, and the Enterprise is hardly in it. So yeah.
It's interesting how, one appearance and they created such an impression. I mean, and they're not even on screen hardly at all in the episode. Right. But, they're so distinctive. I mean, the voice is distinctive, the two ships coming together and making the webs. And and I thought the Tholian, the alien was purely animation. But apparently there was a helmet that Mike Miner made. Nobody wore it, but then they crinkled up some tinfoil behind it and shown some lights on it and added some animation to it. But there was actually an object there, so I don't know whatever happened to that. But they're very distinctive alien. I mean, them and the Gorn, it's like aliens that you wish had reappeared or just are so popular even based on a single appearance. Or
when people think of like the big original series, like bad guy aliens, you get Klingons, Romulans, and then it's like Gorn and Tholians. But the Gorn and Tholians were only both in one episode. Not even they don't even get mentioned.
Not even mentioned.
Klingons and Romulans get name dropped all the time, but they don't. Well, the animated series does acknowledge the Gorn. I don't, but even in the animated series, I think there's no reference to the Tholians at all.
The Gorn are heavy presence and have a heavy presence in the online game too.
Oh yeah, they're part of the.
They're aligned with the Klingons.
Yeah.
Well, they have that. They had that advert, didn't they, with William Shatner and the Gorn?
Oh yeah, awesome!
They're playing it,
must
and
have watched that.
They reenact it, which is really quite funny.
5 million views and 2 million of them are mine, I think, on that video.
I wonder what 32nd century Tholian web technology is like. It must be like instantaneous or something like that. Just like you just like trap a ship instantly.
They might be extinct.
Well, it's got to be easier to create anyway. I mean, the guy who did the effect, I mean, he's literally scratching and drawing on every single individual frame, and 24 frames per second. So multiply that by how many seconds this thing is appearing. I mean, it was just he was young. He was like in his 20s at the time, so I guess he could just stay up all night and keep doing this. But it surely paid off for them. I mean, it's really a great episode to look at.
What did you do? Yeah, what did you do today? Oh, I just scratched some lines on some film.
Yeah.
Ridiculously for hours and hours.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's such a good effect. It holds up today. I only saw, of course, the remastered version, and so they updated the ship. I kind of like the original design better because I remember the hull of the Tholian ship reflecting colors more or something like that. It wasn't quite as gray in the original. I don't know. Did anyone here see the unremastered version?
I'm not sure I've ever seen the remastered version. I think I've only seen the original.
Oh, right on.
Think of it. Yeah, and I do feel like there is some color a little bit on the ships. But it's been a while.
That's one of my frustrations with the streaming services. They only have the remasters, and I have the Blu-ray. I can go get that off the shelf, but I'm normally so lazy. I just watch whatever's on streaming. But I've gotten to the point now where I think I've seen the remasters more than I've seen the original. So I really need to be more disciplined and start watching the originals again.
Yeah, especially this one. I mean, it's an Emmy-winning effect.
Right, but it's not if you're watching the remastered one.
Right.
You're not seeing
the original ones. Yeah.
So
I'd like to see it too.
That's my whole thing with the other Star franchise. Their first movie won an Oscar for best editing, but then if you watch the one where they add all like the CGI and new scenes and everything, it's like, well, you're not watching the movie that won Oscar for best editing.
Right.
That's true.
A re-edited version of it.
Your B team comment got quite a little discussion going on in the chat, and I like this one. Scotty's change of name here for Jill. Scotty's Theragon overdose. No one calls Uhura the B team around me. To me, the A team is Spock and Uhura. LOL. And then how about Scotty? He's chief engineer, transporter chief, and head of security. Like, Scotty can do it all. He just
and
needs
third in command.
He just needs 2 trainees and a chimpanzee to run the Enterprise.
That's right.
So, like, he can do anything. He just, like...
No, I
he never
feel all
likes to
that.
go on
Yeah.
vacation.
Scotty talks
He's
to
always
the
working.
drunken nights and talks to the engine and talks about killing everyone else. So it's just them two on board.
No, he reads technical journals, right? That's what.
I like that he
Yeah.
took away the... I like that he took away the Tang... whatever it was, and he's like, let's see how this mixes with whiskey, doctor.
There's the scene in Wink of an Eye.
Multiverse this takes me to.
We haven't done Wink of an Eye yet, right? But
Right.
when we get to it, there's a scene there where Spock is like, oh, we need to like check all of our coffee, and like they're scanning all the coffee, and I've always wanted him to be like, Mr. Scott, why is there an extremely large amount of ethanol in your coffee?
That's pretty funny. What did you guys think of the Space Bermuda Triangle? Is this the same location? I haven't seen A Mirror Darkly in a while. Is this the same location? Like, do they like around the same location in A Mirror Darkly, or
Yes.
or it is okay?
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
just
very cool.
what would that be? That was in the 54, so that would have been like it's 95 years earlier and in the mirror universe, but the same part of space.
I love that someone earlier, I forget who it was, mentioned that in a way this is now a 3-parter because of A Mirror Darkly. You know, the
More than that, because they
Enterprise.
continue it in Enterprise.
in Discovery, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. We get a reference to the Defiant. We see she's been updated or refit by the time the Discovery crew are in the Mirror Universe and stuff like that. So yeah, what do you think? The Defiant's an interesting ship. I think that there's a lot of fascination around that ship too. What do you guys think about that?
This episode, the Defiant, you mean?
Yeah, but in general,
Yeah,
like I feel
in
like
gen-
it's a
yeah.
ship that everyone's like, "Oh, the Defiant's back!" Like how exciting is that? Like, and I guess it's because they did such a good job in Enterprise at showing how badass the Constitution class.
That
can
is
be,
really
like-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch those Enterprise episodes in A Mirror Darkly parts 1 and 2, they do a great job of showing the TOS era is more advanced, is more powerful, and just kicks the shit out of anything from the Enterprise era.
It is kind of funny watching those episodes though, and at least to me, the NX-01 Enterprise looks more advanced. So seeing them all, like Archer being so enthralled by the TOS Enterprise, and it being so different and colourful, and him having that over-the-top spiky hair, I just laugh every time.
The Enterprise is so advanced that it looks simpler, which is kind of cool. Like it's got a smoother hull. Like there's not the hull plating's
But
like
not even just like the visual style, but like when they disintegrate a guy with a TOS
Oh, yeah, that's right.
type 2
Phaser.
phaser, and they disintegrate a guy, because like in the 90s at some point Star Trek got kind of embarrassed to like do disintegrations, like they stopped doing it for some reason. And then when they brought it back in Enterprise and like they disintegrated someone, and it's just like holy shit, look at what this like advanced 23rd century technology can do. It's like kind of scary almost.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What about do you think that do you think it was disappointing not to actually see the Defiant on screen other than that little diagram in Discovery? Did you want it when you saw that, Father? Did you think she was going to come into play?
I don't think I
You didn't think that?
I don't think I did, but just as far as like the Defiant and like this episode to talk about the Tholian Web, I thought it was really cool how they were able to cut back and forth between Scotty on the bridge, or whoever is in the bridge at the very
It was
beginning.
Scotty.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I guess Scotty's going back and forth between the bridge and the transporter room, because I know he's in the transporter room later when Kirk can't beam over, but they're actually on the same set, but you feel like they're on 2 different ships, just like because they had like the darker lighting.
Yeah.
But they, like I always watch that, then have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, that was all. It's like the Wrath of Khan. It's like they're just talking to each other from the same set, basically.
Yeah.
And then some of the other shots when you see like the dead bodies everywhere, and yeah, it does have that that dark creepiness to it. That
The green
we were
glow
talking
gives
about
it like a
earlier.
ghost
Yeah, that
shape.
weird fishy eye lens that they use when people
Oh
are
yeah,
like,
like the wide angle.
yeah. Oh, it's it's a brilliant bottle episode because they make so much out of
Yes.
what they already have.
Yeah, and there's no guest stars. Like they have like like the people laying that are dead. Like those are probably extras, right?
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
They're like just lay down. You like you don't get any direction. You get no dialogue. So yeah, there's no guest stars. There's just your regular people, and then
They
all
blew
your
the budget
regular
on the
sets.
effects.
Yeah. That's why I was able to have those effects.
I was quite surprised they didn't redress the captain's chair, because normally they change the captain's chair, don't they, for a different ship?
Oh, like the Ultimate Computer had a different chair, right?
Oh, I didn't even notice
for
that.
Commodore Wesley's on the Lexington. Is that what? Yeah, I think that's what.
And also, obviously in the Mirror Universe, they obviously had the high back.
Yeah,
they used the same chair for Commodore Wesley's one. In that one. Yeah.
That would have been
So
a nice touch.
I thought they might have done that, but then again, if budgets were low and
what's the registry number?
Sorry,
for this
on Defiant, it's 1764, right?
1764, I think.
Okay, so it's 100 less than the Reliant, because that's 1864.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
So Defiant and Reliant, they kind of rhyme.
Okay, interesting. Well, it was originally going to be called the Scimitar. But,
was it? I didn't see that on.
But,
I didn't see that.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
that's funny because what is that? That's that ends up being what the Scimitar ends up being Shinzon's ship. So they did use the name.
We don't actually see the whole registry in the original effects, I don't think, for Defiant, do we? Did anyone watch the original effects? I mean, did they come up with 1764 for the remastered? I don't think.
Let me see.
Because I know the only other time you see it on Constellation, they just move the lettering around because it's 1017, which has always annoyed me. But
yeah, because it should have been 17 something.
Yeah, I don't think you see the whole close enough to see a registry number. I haven't seen this in a bit. I should watch these 1710. But, yeah.
1764. I'm not seeing any examples of the original effects online except for one side shot, which doesn't show the whole registry. But
yeah, and then you see it like far away in the distance, the whole ship on the view screen from.
Gosh darn it! Now I'm gonna have to go back and pull out my DVDs and watch it.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident they wouldn't show it on there.
Yeah.
No.
Very cool. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm going to have to get the Blu-ray out. I've got the Blu-ray downstairs, so I'll have to do that. Normally, I normally watch both of them, but I've got a bit lazy and just watched it on Netflix. Just watching the TOS.
I wish they would just put both on there and just give you the option, like which one. That's not like the Blu-ray is. You just tell it like which one you want to watch.
Yeah, which one you want. Yeah.
I have all the original episodes in the original format on the hard drive.
Oh, for real?
It has every TOS episode, Star Trek 2, and every Buffy episode on it.
Wow.
Buffy's on there too.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
I have a.
There is a
says...
Vulcan in Buffy in season 7.
Wait, what?
There's a Vulcan that appears in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
In season 7?
Yeah, when Andrew is telling the story of how Faith killed a Vulcan, and then they're like, "No, she didn't kill it. She killed a Vulcanologist."
That's right.
That's pretty funny. PE says, I have a vague memory that some stuff from Discovery Season 1 also connects with In a Mirror Darkly. Yeah, that's what we were talking about just a little earlier. I wish I'd done a better job and pulled up some visuals, but there's like they see a visual of schematics or whatever, front view of the Defiant, and she has her pylons slightly different. It looks like they added extra.
It's also the saucer section's different as well.
Oh yeah, it has the cutouts. That's right, it has like the cutouts. What's up with that? Like when you when you militarize a starship, you have to cut out sections from the saucer section because they do it again for the
Cut out the
Enterprise,
fat, man. Only
the
what
war,
you need for war.
the Wardy. I guess it's like just adding more deflectors and things like that, or whatever, various
Actually,
things.
if we just go there, I've just found a picture on it. I'm just going to.
Oh, you're gonna share
the
it?
screen.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah.
But
Share and go. Let me know when you can see it.
all right, here we go. Yay! Thank you. There it is.
Ah.
So that's the Defiant as seen in Discovery.
Yeah, giving us a little hint that Constitution, a hint of what's to come because we get the Constitution class in the Prime universe come back. Look, not only is there there's also a little extra thing on the secondary hull. There's a lot of little extra things that they added. Those guys to the Defiant. Other than, let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, so like I really thought it was interesting how the madness would just like appear, like how it would affect people, like they're at the like just at random. It was like certain things would trigger you or whatever. And the one of the funniest but also like freakiest ones was when they were doing Captain, the briefing for Captain Kirk and Spock, letting everyone know that that basically he's gonna assume he's dead, and that one guy just freaks out when he says that and like goes crazy. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's like so nuts.
But if you actually watch it, he is as Spock's turning, it keeps going. You see him flinching. You actually do see him flinching, and then he goes. But there's one thing I found quite funny was the guy that freaked out in engineering was also the one that got killed in Friday's Child.
Right. At this top of the episode.
Wow, you guys really have keen eyes on this one. But the idea, it's such a scary idea to me that like someone could just lose their mind like that. So seeing it over and over again in this episode was like really harrowing. And it was part of what you were saying about the layers earlier. It's like you never like these like unexpected moments and stuff like that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I guess go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the original script concept from the writers was just basically kind of a ghost story in space. Like they've lost Captain Kirk, how are they going to find them? And then they layered in the Tholians, and then the Tholian Web, and then, well, we need something else, so let's make this inner space cause people to go nuts. So layering is the perfect term. It just, there's so many things they have to they're pushing against to resolve the episode.
I feel like in... Oh, go ahead, Ruben.
I was going to say, I like to picture Kirk for a moment while they're all having the drinks. He comes into space and sees them. He's like, these they're drinking wrong. Help me, guys.
I wonder if in the Mirror universe, the interphasic space actually makes you like nice as opposed to like how like the rest of the, maybe that's why everyone in the Mirror universe is like crazy. Cause like, that's just normal, like what their normal brain chemistry is like. But yeah, so I'm gonna make some Tang punch. I still have Tang. Believe it or not, they still sell it. I think it's the same stuff they use to make Tranya, actually, by the looks of it.
Same color. Yeah, it's the same colors.
I also like that. The one thing I think that I love the Tholian stuff, but I think the one thing that I was kind of like awe about, or like a little disappointed about, if anything, was how quickly they were just able to like get out of the Tholian Web. Like it was just a matter of like
confusing too.
Yeah, and then they're like, apparently like doing that launches them 3 parsecs away somehow, like instantaneously, which is crazy too. So I didn't understand that part.
Well, they had a guild navigator come on board, and he bent space, so they were traveling without moving. And suddenly,
there we have it. That's a good explanation.
They left a giant hole there. Missed the spot.
What they didn't realise, the Traveller had come back to TOS.
Wow, you guys were creating like the ultimate fan fiction here. Let's just throw in Barkley while we're at it. He had something to do with it.
Or it was Q just going.
Yeah, exactly.
R2 fixed the hyperdrive.
Were you gonna say, Robbie?
It was very quick because it was just like a click of a finger's kind of effect, and then they were just out of it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the only hand waving they did in this.
That's why we haven't seen the Tholians since, because they've been working on the second version where you can't get out of it.
They were like, the Tholians must have been like, man, we put all that energy into building this thing around it, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. Where'd it go? Where'd the Enterprise go?
It's like the guy who designed the first Death Star with that weak spot, you know? Ah, told you we shouldn't leave a big hole at the bottom of the web. They're gonna look down.
I really hope that we do see the Tholians come back in Strange New Worlds. Now that when Father mentioned that, I'm like, that is perfect. Like it's the perfect setting and the time period and everything, and they're definitely around to do that.
Well, they knew of the Tholians as well, didn't they? They actually know. So it's
and what do they call the Tholian?
They
Assembly?
mentioned them in the short trek that Kalinda Vasquez wrote, Ask Not, that had Anson Mount as Pike. He's like, the Tholians are about to blow up your husband, but then he's like, no, not really. Yeah. This is all a test.
Wait a second. The fake attack was by the Tholians? I didn't realize that. Oh, cool. Great.
Yeah, because Kalinda Vasquez is a big TOS person. That's why her parents named her Kalinda. So
from
she grew up on
by
it.
Any other name? Yeah.
Yeah, she was born into a TOS watching family.
Right on. Oh, cool. I'm looking forward to more from Kalinda then. The tang is next to the windshield washer fluid and antifreeze. Don't get them confused.
Yeah, you got to be careful which one you reach for.
For real fun, mix them all.
Is antifreeze? I thought antifreeze was like blue, right? Like I guess is it orange?
That's it's like greenish
color. Do y'all use? I guess we don't use antifreeze down here, but what do? You pour that into pipes and stuff? Like, is that how it works, or?
A radiator.
It's your cooling system. Antifreeze is your cooling system. It's the whole cooling system for the engine.
Yeah, you have it if you have air conditioning.
Oh wait, sorry. I thought it was like something you poured into your pipes to not. I don't know. I guess I have it. I don't pay attention. I don't know how my ship works. I'm not an engineer. Like, my shuttlecraft.
You are to parlance. You are Penny, aren't you? From Big Bang Theory. You just don't know.
Yeah, I must be. I like that actually. Oh man, Scotty would mix them. Yeah. Windshield washer fluid is orange in cold climates. Oh, interesting. That's kind of gross. Like when you're cleaning your windshield, you have this orange fluid come up onto the windshield.
Well, our winter one here is blue, so we actually use blue in our one in the for the winter wash.
This is so fascinating. I never thought we'd do a TOS discussion where we talked about antifreeze.
85 degrees right here right now.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. Yeah, it is. It's 82. It's 82 where I am, Ruben, so I'm a little bit cooler.
My weather is bipolar, so it goes from 80 degrees to freezing constantly this time of year.
Robbie, any more thoughts on this episode that you have?
When I was saying that we won't see, it will be interesting to see Spock and Strange New Worlds, and it'll feel very different because there won't be a McCoy. But I think it's just I was kind of sad watching this episode, thinking that we won't get any more great episodes like the Tholian Web and Amok Time and Ezra and Truth No Beauty. And I was thinking, imagine TOS had went on for 7 seasons. Would it have went on the the same kind of trajectory as season 3, or would it just have flourished? It would be interesting.
You don't have to imagine, because we do get another season of TOS in the animated series.
I know, but that is
no, I know what you meant. I wanted to be cheeky.
He has brought up a good argument. If Star Trek had gone on for a few more seasons, would it have lasted for as long as we've had it, or would it have just died a death?
It's interesting, and you can think about it like if the Phase 2 actually worked out as a TV series instead of moving on into the motion picture. I think that probably would have been the end of it, at least based on the quality of some of the scripts they had in the pipeline.
Yeah, and Roddenberry's whole approach on Phase 2 would have been very different.
I think we dodged a bullet not having a lot of Star Trek in the 70s, where he was really into
it built
the leisure
up a
suit
demand.
and mustaches and we
wouldn't have gotten Harv Bennett.
That's true. We wouldn't have gotten
we wouldn't have gotten the Harv Bennett vision of Star Trek with 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
And the Monster Maroon uniforms and all that stuff. So
I love
Yeah,
this road
Nicholas
not
Meyer
taken.
never would have been brought. You know, like Star Trek is so obsessed with going back to Wrath of Khan, like borrowing stuff from Wrath of Khan, doing things the Wrath of Khan way. That wouldn't have existed. There would have been no Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan if we had Star Trek Phase 2 on TV.
No Into Darkness.
Do you know what? It's as much as everybody goes on about Gene Roddenberry being, you know, the great Burn in the Sky. It's amazing how better Star Trek gets when they take it away from him. Every time, it's sort of, you know, with TNG. TNG was dying a death, and then they took it away from him, and then it got better.
Well, I mean, that's like when you see story by and then written by. Like Gene Roddenberry was a very good story by guy.
Yeah,
but delivering that into consistently good TV shows, and then TV, like we were talking about last night, it's the ultimate collaboration, TV and movies.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
a lot
a
of
team
that has to
effort.
do with all the people. George Lucas's Star Wars won an Oscar for editing by Marsha Lucas. And you get someone else in there editing that movie, and you take John Williams' music away, and I don't think Star Wars is Star Wars.
Yeah, or without what's his name, the designer,
Ralph McQuarrie,
without the Ralph McQuarrie
It's
designs.
like a team. It's kind of like a team.
who also did some designs for Star Trek, by the way. You were talking about Phase 2, right? Didn't he do?
No, not Phase 2, but
oh, okay, the motion picture.
Matt Jeffries designed the Phase 2 refit, I believe.
Oh,
but,
gotcha.
McQuarrie designed the that movie, Planet of the Titans version of the Enterprise, that kind of looks like
Discovery, right?
Yeah, it looks like a Star Destroyer with the Enterprise saucer on the front of it. So they basically use that for the Discovery and Star Trek Discovery.
It's amazing how they use Ralph McQuarrie, because also Ralph McQuarrie virtually did Battlestar Galactica as well. Did a lot of concept art for Battlestar Galactica as well. So so when you've got
I see it.
He was the sci-fi designer of the time.
Yeah.
We're going on like a big Ralph McQuarrie tangent, but just since we're talking about like how the timeline could have been if things are a little different.
the road not taken discussion.
He was shot in the head in the Korean War. Like it wasn't like fatal, didn't like penetrate his brain or anything, but like just that, like he came like that close to dying in the Korean War, and then the whole look of Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, everything would have been different.
That's insane to think about.
Well, we wouldn't have had Star Trek, right. So yeah.
Well, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that about Ralph McQuarrie. Very cool fact. Fun fact. Oh, let me see something here. Let's see. Planet of the Titans. Hey, Oleg, nice to see you. We have Scotty. Jill says the search for Spock greater than the Wrath of Khan. Father agrees with you. And then Sub-Commander, will you be decloaking for the animated series as well, or are you just going to join us for the TOS discussions?
Well, this has been fun, and I haven't seen all the animated series. I've
seen, right on.
Yeah,
so...
maybe only about a third of them. So I mean, I'll have to buy them, I guess. I'm not sure, and where can you stream them right now? But anyway,
I think you can
Paramount Plus.
You can stream them on. You can either do the Paramount Plus and then maybe take a peek at some of the other Star Trek shows.
The Blu-ray set is probably like $20.
Yeah,
that might be.
I bet you could get it I bet you could find something at your local, like, I don't know if people do at bookstores. Sometimes you get DVDs or whatever. So yeah, you might be able to find them.
No, not here. Not in the United States.
UK, Robbie, yeah. Well, you probably find. I mean, we have
$30.
I mean, we have secondhand websites. Music Magpie is a big thing over here, where you can get films, TV series a lot considerably cheaper than you would if you was to buy them brand new. So maybe go online and have a look.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm happy to join for those too.
Cerulean Blue, nice to see you. Oh sweet, when do the animated series discussions begin? I'm ready to do another rewatch. If we stay on track sometime at the end of the year.
No, probably around sometime this summer.
Oh, this summer.
Yeah,
right on.
There's not that many more TOS
episodes.
I think. What was this? What number is this?
9.
We probably have like
season
10,
season
13.
3 episode.
There's 24 total.
Yeah, there's 24 total.
So 13 weeks. So
Oh,
yeah,
yes, this is-
13 weeks is only 3 months. So
yeah, okay. So there you go, CB. We will be coming at you with the animated series sometime in the summer. So yeah, stay tuned. That's cool. It's a good summer fling to have.
yeah, probably
with,
like July.
animated series. Yeah,
But then there's only 22 weeks of TAS, so that'll go fairly quickly.
fairly quickly as well. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. Any other thoughts, guys, on this episode of the original series? Oh, by the way, someone was saying that that this might be the last great episode.
That's
Is that
May.
true?
3 months is May, so
Oh,
yeah,
3
that's
months
sooner
is
than I
May, so
thought.
sooner, yeah.
Sorry.
That this might be the last great episode of the original series. Do you guys agree? I feel like there's a couple more coming up.
The
Right?
order
the
that we're
empath,
going
right?
in, the broadcast order.
Mm-hmm.
Someone on here said they really like the empath. I can't remember who that was.
that's me,
yeah.
but I know I understand why a lot of people don't like the empath.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't call it a great episode, but I like it a lot.
I have a hard time staying awake through that one, but but
I quite like let that be your last battle.
that's what I was about to say. I think that everyone gives that episode a hard time for the for the
Black, white,
heavy-handedness, but also all the shots of like running down the corridors, cut with the city ruins. But no, I think that's a good episode. That has
Okay,
like a
cool.
really tense moment in it that I think is well shot, well edited, and I think the script has a really cool message, and there's some good bits of writing in that one.
But I will just say this: like, I feel like it's a relative thing, because I feel like so far TOS is just coming back and rewatching TOS with you guys, and like rediscovering it as an older person, with having seen so much Star Trek, and since the last time I rewatched this, it's like I realize how great TOS is. And so even like a not so good episode of TOS in season 3 still has so much like amazing rich content, and brings so much like and it seems like every rewatch there's like something new. Like, for example, watching this now, like the last time I watched this, I don't think I hadn't seen that Enterprise episode, certainly not the Discovery episode. So these episodes just continue to like blossom and grow as more Star Trek comes out, and more Star Trek keeps referencing back to these episodes. So I love that. I think that TOS is growing in its value over time, even using the less than ideal or less than savory things that were products of its time as lessons and ways to like have a discussion around like views of then versus views of now, and like right and wrong about certain ways people are treated and things like that. So I really think that's great. I think TOS is going to last forever. I'm going to be so bold as to say that, like it's pretty awesome.
Actually, for me, it's doing the rewatches. I'm actually surprised. Everybody slates the third season, but I'm finding that I'm enjoying a lot of the episodes in the third season, which I totally forgot. I just slated it as it's the crap season.
Yeah, I think I had my expectations low, so I'm being surprised pleasantly as well. So yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
What's this?
I said it.
There
was,
it is.
I said it
wow.
was Kirk, but it's Spock.
Oh, right on.
I don't know what this is, like brown stuff that got on there when I had this in storage for like 10 years, but yeah, this is the
Interesting.
Mr.
That's
Spock
great.
in environmental suit.
How tall is that figure? Is it like a 12-inch?
Yeah,
that's
probably. It's pretty tall.
Very
They
cool.
also made a
9.
they made a checkoff as well. That
Oh, there he is.
I didn't get that.
Is there like a
one.
little button you can push and he screams?
That'd be cool.
I think the Wilhelm scream needs to be replaced with the
Chekov, the
with
Koenig scream.
the Koenig scream. I think.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
never.
good
I
idea.
don't know. I probably bought this in like 94, 95. Never took it out of the box. So
Right on. Looks great. Looks really cool. Let's see here. Jill says, last Battlefield must have had the lowest budget of any episode. The aliens do damage by thinking real hard. LOL. And then PE says, one could view Strange New Worlds as being the return of TOS. Certainly the return of the TOS era. Disco was kind of like that too, or it was supposed to
Well,
be.
when you think about it, it's got the longest period between pilot and episode. Between the pilot and Spike, it's
Indeed.
the longest period of time between the two.
And we're so excited. It's not long now before we start talking about Strange New Worlds on all of these
Cinco de Mayo.
subspace. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this episode a solid 10 because it's just a classic timeless episode, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a lot of fun to watch, and also a lot of fun talking about it with you guys. What do you say, Ruben? What's your rating and final thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a good episode. I gotta get ready for an away mission real quick. So, it's a good episode. You know, I enjoyed it. I've liked this little kid, and I found it very interesting now. And so, my rating, I would say,
We
We lost him.
we lost him. That was good. Robbie, what do you say about this episode? Final thoughts and ratings, if you choose.
I'm just sad that we'd never got an episode that maybe where Kirk was out of the whole episode, and
You do in the animated series, though. The slaver weapon. Kirk's not in it.
and McCoy and Spock just had complete focus. You know, it's interesting when we get to see more of these characters, because and it'll be interesting to see more of Uhura. I think that's such a fantastic decision for Strange New Worlds, because Uhura is, you know, an iconic character, but she doesn't actually get much if you actually look at the episodes. So it'll be nice to flesh her out, because she is so iconic, but she's got so much more room to grow as well. And I just think Spock's dry performance against McCoy, just as they were watching that videotape, was pretty funny, because McCoy's like, "Oh no, Kirk's got it all planned. He knows what we're up to." And then it was quite sweet to see McCoy apologize to Spock and realize he needs to be a bit more logical, and maybe Spock needs to be a bit more illogical.
Right on, very nice. Sorry, Fathery, what do you have to say about this episode? Any final thoughts and
Can I give my ranking?
Oh, I forgot I didn't get your ranking. Yes,
I'd give it an 8.
an 8. Nice, very high, good. Go ahead, Fathery.
I feel like I've said everything that I have to say on this one. The only thing I can add is I think when I did frown upon this one a little bit for a while when I was younger, I think it has almost too many different layers of stuff going on at the same time. Like I think the driving the crew mad. I think I used to think like, oh yeah, it kind of feels like you're wearing a hat on top of a hat. You have too many different things going on at the same time. But I don't know now. Like I appreciate like the eeriness, the creepiness that adds. Like at any minute, the guy next to you could like just snap and go nuts and try to strangle you to death. And
we didn't talk about how Nurse Chapel just kind of stood there for a bit before taking action. She was probably so freaked out, but that was like, anyway. Sorry, carry on, Father.
But yeah, I think this is a good one. Definitely one of the standouts of not just season 3, but I think of the entire
show,
the entire 3-season run of the show. So I will rate it nothing, because I don't like to give ratings.
I was hoping you would say like 6 green defiance out of like.
I couldn't think of anything good. Oh wait.
Tholian Web pattern.
Oh yeah, like
I'll rate it 1764.
There you go.
Green defiance.
There you go.
out of a Tholian Web.
There we go. Thank you. I was like, that's the only reason I asked you for your ratings. It's because I'm looking for that cheeky one. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you. Ian, any final words about this episode? And if you care to give a rating, please. Oh, I'm being reminded that I have to pick up lobster tonight. I'm so excited we're having lobster tonight. That's great.
Just in response to what Robbie says about Uhura actually does take command of the Enterprise in the animated series as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Lorelei signal.
The Lorelei signal. So you've got that to come, Robbie. You've got that to come. So,
if y'all can't tell, I'm really eager for the animated series discussion.
I think we've said it all, and I think I quite like it. It's just one single thread, but all the crew are just going through in this one story. You know, there's not a secondary bit or whatever. they're all going for it. So yeah, I do like it, and I do like some of the minor mistakes they're going through. I did notice once McCoy and Chekhov coming through the door, and you don't hear the swoosh of the door, but it does when it closes, and things like that. I do like seeing those bits, and no, it's enjoyable, and I'm with Father again. It's one of the best episodes of Star Trek, not just season 3 of the TOS, should I say TOS, and I will give it a 7.5
Right on.
out of 10.
Ruben, what say you?
I already said mine. I'm on my way mission.
Oh, yeah,
He's already done that.
that's why I didn't
I'm
hear
not
your
here.
rating. You disappeared into interphasic space, and I forgot about you. That's
My
right.
rating's
Sorry.
in the Mirrorverse. I can't see
You
it right
can't
now.
go get it. Hold on, I'm gonna go tune in
Yeah.
to the Mirror Universe. You give it a 10. I'm giving it a 10 for you. Adam, what say you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I would give it I guess an 8 out of 10. It's I always enjoy this one. The last comment I'll say about it is when I was a kid and I saw it for the first time, I was very confused by the capper because I thought, well, Vulcans can't lie, but he said he didn't watch the video. He didn't watch the
That's
last
really
taped
funny.
order.
That's such
So
a kid
did I
thing.
miss something in this episode where he actually didn't see it? Or so that was
I
confusing
love
for
that.
me as a kid. But later you just realize it's
It's
just one of those
Spock.
things. Yeah, it's Spock.
It's just
Spock-
a lie that the Vulcans can't lie.
That's right.
Yes.
One of the novels says that. Like it says like it's Spock talking. He says Vulcans cannot lie. Spock lied.
Yeah, totally.
That's genius. That's genius. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Everyone, please go check out Ruben at rmartian on Twitter, as well as on Pop Axiom and Rue Morgue. And anything specific you want to promote this week, Ruben?
I posted, I forget what the last interview I posted, but I have an interview with the cinematographer of the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix that came out. I interviewed the cinematographer.
Where are they shooting that, by the way?
I believe they shot that in Texas, just like the original movie.
Do you know where?
Where in
Here-
Texas?
Here in the Austin area.
He says it in the interview, so when I go back through it, I can tell you. I don't remember off the top of my
I
head.
wonder if I know
To
anyone
find
who's
out, you'll
working
have to
on
go
it.
and
That's right.
to find out. You'll have to go back and watch.
And read my interview.
Read the
Okay, I'm
interview.
sorry.
I guess
read
I'll
it.
have to read it.
There you go.
I'm sorry to all the viewers out there who have to read.
You could
I'm
check
old school
out.
like that.
You could check out our Dadmiral, our very own Dadmiral, who's on the show. He's a good Merle. He's not a bad Merle. On Twitter at TrekCatCatCat, as well as on YouTube. And next week, what's that? And Instagram. Thank you.
Instagram, yeah,
Yep,
and
yep.
Instagram.
And next week he'll be on the Star Trek cruise with Fathery, which is really exciting. So we'll get some reports hopefully from the cruise, and we'll get to see your wonderful
you will be. I
cosplays.
will be posting. I've got my internet package for that, so I will be
Oh,
posting
sweet.
quite a few things. So yeah, I will be doing a lot. So yes, I will be stateside as of Friday next week. I will be stateside.
If you
Yeah,
don't have your alert set for Dadmiral's account, go and set those alerts so that you get notifications. What were you gonna say, Fathery?
There's not gonna be a TOS stream Saturday, right?
Right, we won't do a TOS stream on Saturday. Just thanks for that reminder, because I will be either on Saturday. I'll be up there. So yeah, but we are doing a Text Trek stream earlier on Friday. It's going to be at 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. That's the
3
plan.
Central. So that'll be really fun.
Tentative.
Yes.
That's what
But
Are
we're
you in
shooting
that?
for.
You're in the hotel where they're doing the pool party, Father?
No, but we can. I thought that was where you were staying, so that's why I suggested meeting you
Yeah,
over
no,
there. But
I'm-
it's like
I'm
it's right
literally-
down
I'm-
the street
I'm not-
from you.
Yeah, it's just down the street.
It's like
so,
within
I mean,
walking distance, probably.
that's so
Yeah.
Florida pool party.
But yeah, we can meet over there. I hope
Yeah.
that people next week they can see a picture of four of us.
Yeah.
4 out of the 6
yeah, it would be
people
good.
here
Yeah,
together.
definitely.
It'll be the
Definitely.
first
It's
time
just-
we're all in the same spot. So
I'll be wearing
Yeah.
this uniform probably. We'll see. I'm going to try to put something together.
Yeah, as I said, I land at 5 o'clock, so hopefully I'll be in Canaveral about, well, I don't know, between 7 and 8, and I'm just going to drop my
Yeah.
bags off and go down to the hotel. So I will
Right
be.
on.
I'll change t-shirt, and because I'll be wearing a long sleeve shirt and everything, but I'll change and make my way down there.
yeah, we can meet you over there.
Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Excellent. You can check out Sub-Commander Tall, same name on Twitter, as well as Lieutenant Leslie, right? Like that's your parody
Yeah,
account, yeah.
Mr. Leslie. Yeah.
Mr. Leslie, which is very funny. And yeah, so follow the Sub-Commander on Twitter. Lots of great, insightful tweets, mainly focused on the original series. I love it. Every time I catch one, you do a lot of these hashtag events, which I really like too. I got to try to join in on a few of those, like the is it called Micro Treks? Did Chris start that
Yeah, he
that one,
started
right?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do that, but he.
Oh, okay. I
I mean,
thought I saw
I
you
read them, but
read
I
them.
don't
Yeah.
produce them. Yeah.
But there's like stuff about acting and
Oh yeah, or
performances.
the
Yeah,
monthly
like
prompts. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But I definitely do those. Yeah,
Those
yeah.
tweets are really cool. I love seeing those. So check them out if you have a love for TOS, especially, but just Star Trek in general. Please put Mr. Leslie on notify, says Scotty's Therican overdose.
But I'll tell you, Joe, I'm having a hard time with Mr. Leslie lately, thinking of new stuff. I mean, my idea was to do like one a day for a year. I'm not going to make that. I think the year anniversary is coming up, but we'll see. So Mr. Leslie might retire at some point here,
Or
but or
you
just
might
retweet.
graduate him into the TOS film era and see what stuff you can make up out of that, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
put him into TNG. Or I mean, he's still alive, probably, and very old. So who knows
yeah,
what future holds for Mr. Leslie.
yeah.
You can check out Fathery, as we already said, on Text Trek. Fathery, what's new on the channel? You guys just did a discussion of the latest discovery, and you're gonna release the
Yeah,
podcast episode on Monday.
Yeah, we are live Friday night at 7 p.m. Central, except for next week. It's a special occasion, but normally you can find us 7 p.m. Central live on YouTube discussing the latest episodes of Star Trek. Then those shows are available to listen to wherever you get your podcast. We're currently working our way through Star Trek Discovery. We're going to be doing Picard very soon when that show comes out, and of course Strange New World starting in May, and then Lower Decks and Prodigy later in the year. And we're also going to go back to talking about more of the legacy Star Trek. We're going to do some more Deep Space Nine discussions later this year, hopefully doing that this summer. So
With Dave, yeah, very
yeah,
exciting.
I watch it for the 47th time, and Dave watches it for the first time, and then we talk about it. So we're getting like the juicy stuff. We're about to go into season 5 of DS9, so that's where the real juicy stuff starts happening.
Great season.
But yeah, and then next week we will be live, me and Starfleet Boy, in the same room on Text Trek at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central Friday. So that'll be a
Very
first.
And I will photobomb the stream at one point.
Very exciting. I can't wait. And then Robbie is the Earl Grey Trekkie, or EGT as we like to call him affectionately. AGT. And Robbie is currently in production working on some really cool Star Trek content. I won't tell you more than that. I'll let him say. But up next, right after this discussion at some point over on his channel, we are going to be discussing another episode of Doctor Who with Brian from Text Trek. And that episode is Midnight. So if you guys want to join us for that, look out on Earl Grey Trekkie's channel. Anything else, Robbie? Did I miss anything?
I just highly recommend, if you're into Star Trek books, reading Enigma Tales.
Okay, very cool.
Features Garak and Pulaski, and it was a joy to read.
Excellent. Jill's asking, Fathery, when is the season 5 discussion? I want to rewatch the seasons. And
it'll be after Strange New Worlds is all aired. So
sometime in the summer, maybe.
I'm thinking
or
maybe
late summer.
July. Jill. So yeah, it's a long ways off. I maybe I shouldn't even be mentioning that just yet. I know that people have asked us to go back to DS9, so I just wanted to let everyone know it will happen. But yeah, it'll be sometime this summer.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you in the audience. Again, lovely to see all the wonderful chats and all the fun in the chat as well. It's a pleasure to have you guys. Live long and prosper, and we will see you next time.